Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you my more traditional Valentine's Day mani. So I'm going to be using these two colors from Triple D. Both of these were released the same time that the Bad Girls Club collection came out. So I'm going to get started with this color called My Heart, which is a milky pink color. It is super, super pretty, and it worked so well with this mani. I'm going to actually do some water slide decals from Pashi over the top. And this is the first time I've done decals over a color other than white. But the little bit of the hint of pink to it didn't cause any issues with the decals. They still showed up perfect, just the way I wanted them to. I'm still testing out the Mani Boss Peel Base. So far, I've found that 2 coats works really well if I want the mani to stay on for like 4 or 5 days. I do 3 coats if I know I want to film a bunch of videos and do my mani like every 2 or 3 days. So that's kind of what I have found is working for me so far. I forgot to do a layer of base on these first 2 fingers first. If you saw in my last video when I was first trying out the peel base, I painted on just a real thin layer of base just because, and it doesn't mean it's a bad peel base, just some peel bases kind of react differently with dip liquids and can cause your base to dry faster. So that's why you see that little spot in my middle finger where the dip just didn't adhere because that spot of the base dried a little too quickly before I could get my nail in there. But for one, it covered up perfectly over the second dip, and I also knew that I was going to be putting decals over these, so it wasn't a huge deal. I am going to go ahead real quick now and just do a thin layer of base on the rest of my nails. That way I won't have any patchiness when I go in to do my actual dips on those fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and get my second dip layer on of this milky pink color called My Heart. And then I capped in clear. I think I just got so much in the habit of capping each individual color in clear just because the last couple manis I've done like either white or a super light color and then either a darker color or a glitter, and I think I just really got into the habit of capping individual colors in clear. But for this mani it really was not necessary. I could have just totally waited till the end, but creature of habit, I guess. So I would love for you guys at the end of the video to tell me which mani is your favorite, the traditional Valentine's Day one or my untraditional dark side Valentine's Day mani. I love how this one turned out. It is super cute, but the anti-Valentine's Day mani I think is my favorite just because y'all know how I feel about the darker colors. I don't know. I love the untraditional stuff. I don't know. So I am capping in clear. I was planning to let you guys watch while I did that, but I talked through all of it. So this is Peekaboo, and let's talk about it for a second. So as you can see, consistency is different. It's not your average consistency dip, and I'm only addressing this because after some people got their orders from Triple D, there was a lot of comments about the consistency of the powder. They thought that there was something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the consistency. It's the way it's supposed to be. Higher pigments that are added to dip powders, they're different. They're not all the same. I personally like this consistency better. Like if Dodie could redo all her dips in this consistency, I would buy them. I mean, I buy all her powders anyway, but I found that this consistency for me is actually easier to work with because I found that it really only sticks to your dip base. So you'll see after I dip my finger in, it molds perfectly around your finger, and you really don't have much of anything that you really have to dust off. it does pack a little bit more, but I find that I actually get thinner layers with this consistency powder. As you can see, barely anything is on my skin. If you got Hide and Seek or Jumanji, it's kind of the same consistency of those powders. Thermal powders, you know, they're not the same as, you know, a normal solid that isn't going to change color in cold or warm. So you got to think about that. Consistency is just, it's going to be different because it's a different kind of dip. I'm not a dip owner. I know nothing about how it, you know, is made, but I'm just saying, because there were so many comments in the group about people thinking that there was some moisture in there or something like that. It's not. It's the way the powder's supposed to be. I personally, I like it more, but that's just me. You guys will have to let me know if you got this powder. I think it's gorgeous either way. I really love it. It's my new favorite red. And it changes to this gorgeous pink, like a sheer, I want to say almost like a French pink is how I would describe it. As you can see, it brushes off just fine, beautifully, no issues there. I'm gonna go in and do my second dip, so I'm gonna let you guys watch, and I'm gonna clear cap just one now. I wanted to make this video a little bit on the shorter-ish side, and because I'm doing designs over the top, I didn't want to have you guys sitting here for too long. So I'm gonna finish up my second dip. I'm gonna let you guys watch, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and activated, I buffed and filed off camera, and now I'm going to use these Ring Around the Rosy water slide decals from Pashi. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them out off camera to save a little bit of time. So now I'm going to use, I'm going to use transfer foil gel to adhere my decals. I'm using Triple D's foiling around glue. I will leave it linked as well as everything else I'm using down below, decals, everything. So I like to use the transfer foil glue. As you can see, I'm just taking a couple extra seconds to wipe it off around the mouth of the bottle, just because if you've ever worked with transfer foil glue, then you know it is a bit thicker consistency, which is also why I take an extra couple seconds applying it on my nails, just because I want to make sure I have a nice even coat on there before I cure. I do cure for just 30 seconds, but the foil gel works so much better for the decals. It leaves a much stickier, tacky layer. So you do have to make sure that when you're putting your decal on, that when you put it on your actual nail, that it's where you want it to be, because it's not going to move. And that's why I love using the transfer foil gel, as opposed, you can use gel base. If you don't have the transfer foil gel and you don't want to buy it, then don't feel like you have to. Gel base I think is good to use if you're a beginner with the decals, because you can put it on and still kind of maneuver them around if you need to. So I just have a empty dip jar and I keep it full of water for my decals. So I'm just going ahead and putting my decals in the water. It does take about 10-15 seconds for the decal to loosen up and separate from the backing. I just went ahead and cut most of the 10 seconds out of the video, so you're not just sitting here watching a decal float around in water. So now I'm going to pat off as much water as possible, and I'm just going to apply the whole thing to my stamper. And I'm just going to press it down, try to get some of those wrinkles out, and then I will dab the actual stamper with a paper towel just to get up any excess water, because gel and water don't mix. And then I will just line it up the way that I want and just roll it onto my nail. I do think that with the water decals, it's better to kind of line it up on your sidewall area, just to make sure that it's going to cover your whole nail. And then since I have gloves on, I'm just going to press it down. I don't usually get the excess off the way that I'm going to, but this is just to show you that with this foil glue gel, it's not moving. It is not going to come off. So I was able to actually just really carefully make sure everything was pressed down really, really good. And then the excess kind of just like accidentally peeled off. But in the other nails, you will see my usual way of how I remove the excess with, you know, some nail polish remover. And a Pashi came out with brushes just for this. So they are really, really great. And I love that I can have just one brush for my decals. So I will be sure to leave the link for the brush that you guys are going to see in a second down below for you as well. So I'm going to let you guys watch. I'm going to apply my decal on my middle finger, and then I applied one on my pinky finger off camera. So I will let you guys watch, and I'll be right back in a sec. So as you could see a couple seconds ago, I usually like to go in with a silicone tool around my cuticles and just make sure that the decal is pressed down really nicely, nice and flush. And then I go in with some regular nail polish remover and this really awesome, cute, angled brush from Pashi. I love that she did an angled brush and not a completely straight, because the longer tip of the brush, I find that I can get in really good around my cuticles for cleanup. So you just want to dip it in some nail polish remover. You can use acetone if that's what you have on hand. And you just want to pat it around your sidewalls. And it's going to actually melt that part of the decal that you're touching with your brush. Now, since I have peel base on, I do like to just clean up my edge a bit so that it's not on my edge and on my builder gel. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to clean up my edges. I'm going to melt it around my cuticles and my sidewalls and just clean it up really nice. So I'm going to let you guys watch and I will be back for top coat. Alright, so I got all of my cleanup done. I went ahead and I did let them dry just to make sure that there was no extra water or anything on them, just for a couple of minutes. And now I'm going in with my gel top coat. I am still using Triple D's Delicate Gel. It still has not been released yet, but I am continuing to try it out. And so far I have had no issues. My nails still last just as long as I want them to. They don't pop off sooner than I want them to. The shine is great, and I have not had any kind of allergic reactions to it whatsoever. Granted, I've only ever had the reaction to just the Gershon top coat, but I'll be honest, ever since I had that reaction, I'm a little nervous to try any other gels. So I'm just going to apply my gel top coat as normal. I do like to do 2 layers of the top coat on my nails that I have the designs on. And I'm just going around with a silicone tool just to make sure I don't have any on my skin. So I'd like to cap my free edges first. That's just personal preference. You don't have to cap yours first, but do make sure that you cap them. That will help to make sure you don't have any peeling or anything like that. If you have Young Nails Protein Bond and you find that you experience peeling with your gel top coat, I know a lot of girls actually put a layer of the protein bond on their nails first and then do the gel top coat. I don't need to do that. I've never experienced any issues with chipping or peeling or anything like that when it comes to doing my gel top coats. And I will just say, there's one reveal photo with the design on the pinky. I did end up just filing off that design just because, I don't know, it has a little bit of blue in the decal and I just didn't think it worked all together with the mani. So I did end up just filing off that decal. I just wanted to tell you that because in some of the reveal photos, the design is not on my pinky anymore. So I'm going to get these top coated. I'm going to cure them for 60 seconds. Going to do a second coat on those nails with the design, but I only show me doing my second coat just on one nail. So I'm going to finish up my top coat and I'll be back for cuticle oil. top coat is all cured, and before I do my cuticle oil, I am going to dip my hand into some cold water to show you the red that it changes to. So when your nails are warm, it is that really gorgeous light pink, almost like a French pink type of color. And then when you dip your hands into some cold, it is this gorgeous red, fire hydrant, cherry, whatever you want to call it, shade of red. I love thermals. I feel like I need more of them now. Surprisingly, I don't have a whole lot of them. I have some, but not a whole lot. Not as many as I should for the dip collection that I have. So I'm going to show you what it looks like ombre. So I'm real quick just going to dip my hand back into some water and show you guys the ombre effect that a lot of people see with thermal dips. And then I will dry my hands off and apply my cuticle oil from Candy Skincare. You guys will have to let me know which one is your favorite, this traditional or my untraditional dark bite me Valentine's Day nails. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, tomorrow is February 5th, which is National Wear Red for American Heart Association Month. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye, guys.